Welcome to this episode of the GymInformer podcast. I'm Chris Gilbert, your host for this episode, and today our guest is Nick Young. Nick is the owner of Just Perform. It's a really cool bodybuilding gym down in Rocky Mount, Virginia. If you're not familiar with that area, it's in the southwest corner of Virginia, kind of not too far from Roanoke. I got a chance to work out there recently. Really had a good workout. It's a badass little gym. I'm excited to talk to Nick about the gym, but before we get started, let's take a pause and I'll show you the photos of the gym. The photos I took while I was at the gym. All right, Nick. Just Perform's pretty young, right?
The gym aspect of it is, but Just Perform started as a personal training business back in 2020. And then it has always been a goal of mine to open a gym. And I opened the gym in 2023.
Okay. So that was kind of how you, that was going to be my first question, was what was your path to become a gym owner? So you were a personal trainer?
Yeah.
And then you started a private training studio, I'm assuming?
No, I went from personal training to the gym as it is now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool little gym. It's not huge, but you've got a pretty good size. It's about 6,000?
No, it's 7,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a guess. I'm getting pretty good at guessing, but I'm not perfect. So 7,000 is a pretty decent. It's a pretty good size for a bodybuilding gym. You've got a pretty interesting mix of equipment because you've got some old school pieces, you got some new school pieces. Like you got some old Atlantis, some old Nautilus, you got some brand new Panana, some new Gemlico. Like, what is kind of your thought process on like what pieces are going to go on the floor?
So I of course have used my experience from personal training, and over time I have used a lot of different machines, and I have preferences when it does come to the equipment that I do put on the gym floor, but it's like when I opened up the gym, I wanted to try to have some of the pieces that are like, the best of the best,
right?
And then I wanted to pick those for some of the more important machines in the gym. And then of course, when you are first getting started out, you may not have like tons of money to always put the best of the best in there.
Right. Yeah, you gotta kind of pick and choose.
Yeah. So I kind of picked and chose, and I put more money towards the more important ones, and then I kind of just got something that's good, and it may not be and it may not be the best in my opinion for that machine, but I have the intentions to upgrade
Yeah, you can
as
always pieces out.
time does go on.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you've got a piece that's serviceable, you can always swap it out for a better piece later.
Yeah, yeah, but
And who knows, like, and that may be a 2 or 3 swap process. You might go,
yeah,
okay, I'm going to start with a hammer strength, and I'm going to go to this piece, then eventually I'm going to go to this piece, and I've
yeah,
talked to people who, it's funny, I've talked to people who, like, I thought this was the piece I wanted, I got it, now I want this other piece. So
yeah. And like I do, I do have a lot of some of the newer
yeah,
Nautilus
yeah, those newer
in
knowledge pieces are
my
cool.
gym. Yeah,
Hmm.
there are some that I like, some not, and some not so much.
Hmm.
Um, like I have become more of a bigger fan of the of a lot of the Atlantis like
Oh yeah.
stuff,
Hmm.
and I'm a big fan of
Oh yeah, you
the
can't beat
prime stuff.
yeah, you can't beat
So
prime.
like that's the stuff that I want to have more of in my gym.
Oh yeah, hundred
And I
percent. Yeah.
and this past year I have been able to add quite a few pieces of the Atlantis and the Panada and and one prime machine too. So that's been a slow build up.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean those new Nautilus pieces, especially the presses,
Yeah,
they're perfectly serviceable for quite some time until you decide you want to go with an Atlantis piece or something like that. I mean, I don't think you can beat
definitely.
the Atlantis pressing equipment.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, and their leg equipment's great too. It just my only issue with their leg equipment is such a huge footprint.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
The uh I love their hack squat
oh yeah,
and pendulum squat.
yeah.
Like that's a definitely a goal. Couple. That's definitely a goal.
Hmm.
Two pieces to
Yeah,
have at some point.
yeah. That hack squat, I feel like at some point I drove a car smaller than that hack squat though. That thing is so
Yeah,
huge. It's badass, but it's huge.
yeah, it's massive.
So, I mean, you definitely got to have some space. So, the atmosphere in the gym, it's very like new school, I would say. Like it's blacked out everything, practically minimalistic, like very it's block letters, but you got some motivational stuff on the walls. It's not just blank walls. I hate completely
Mhm.
blank walls. I like when
Yeah,
the gym owners take the time to actually like put something on the wall that means something. Um, but yeah, it's very friendly. Like I was just editing the review today. I was mentioning in the review that um, one of your members, while I was there, when she found out what I was doing, literally came up to me to let me know, like not even prompted by me, just came over to me. It goes, I just wanted to let you know that I started coming to this gym from a corporate gym, and I feel so much more comfortable working out here than I did at the corporate gym down the road. So you're obviously,
yeah,
from an atmosphere standpoint, you've been able to like create a badass bodybuilding gym in a new school style, but still friendly. Is that what you were aiming for?
yeah. So like my vision for the gym was totally this like bodybuilding and this a powerlifting like
Kind of a hybrid.
yeah, but like I was kind of hesitant to like go super hardcore into that
Mm-hmm.
because I've lived here pretty much all my life. So like I know the demographic here and I know the people here and like and I was kind of hesitant to lean into that too much, because the majority of people in my area are in the like the are in the older demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to try to cater to them, but also not lose the the core aspects that I wanted to. So
Yeah, yeah. You got
um,
to be true to who you are and true to your vision,
yeah,
but
yeah, and
you also
like
can't go out of business.
yeah, definitely. And like over time, I've like I still I when I opened the gym, I thought, well, I may not be able to play the music how I want to. I haven't ever changed the music. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have kept it the same. I've kept the lights the same, like everything here, and like no one ever says anything negative about that. You know, like people love the gym, and I
Yeah.
have people that are from the age of like 14 all the way up to all the way up to 85.
That's awesome.
To 85 years old here. You
Yeah.
know, like everybody loves the place is it and is it's just overall a very positive
Yeah, no, it was
environment.
cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like it was a refreshing, cool gym. So you've had the gym for a little over a year now.
Yeah, like
Um,
next week will actually be 1 year.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going well. You're growing. Like, what's the next step? Like, are you at some point looking for a bigger location? Are you looking to expand this location? Are you happy where you are? Are you thinking about like maybe a second gym down the road? Like, what's the future of Just Perform?
Uh, so like in terms of this location, like I would like to make it bigger,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to make it bigger just to make it bigger
Right.
without the support to need to do that,
Mm-hmm.
because I do want to open up more locations.
Okay.
So so my thought all process of like do I make it bigger or do I pursue a second location?
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of like is kind of I'm going to take it as it comes,
Right.
um, because I can always make this one bigger in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, but uh, but I'm not going to say no. I don't want to make it bigger because because I certainly do want to make it bigger, and I know to be able to provide the to provide the variety of equipment that I want. You
Yeah.
know, I do need a bigger gym, but
But not
the
that much bigger.
yeah. So, but I have to have the demand here to
Yeah.
warrant, say, 15,000 square feet.
Yeah. I think even if you had an extra 3,000,
Yeah,
you could put in, a few extra back pieces and a couple extra leg pieces. And like, I think that would be enough to like for you, the size of your community, like
mhm.
10,000 would be a pretty badass gym.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
And
Um,
then, so then, um, we talked about what you're doing well and you're doing quite a few things well, I feel like. Is there anything you feel like that you wish you were doing better as a gym owner?
in terms of that, I like some of the things that I hear from members that they would like to see more of is
Mm-hmm.
more the uh, is more of the like the merchandise and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I have done like a I have I I did a drop earlier this year, and I kind of put that to the side because I've been like because I have been putting all of the extra money in to new equipment.
Yeah.
Um, so, but heading into 2025, that is going to become more of a priority to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then just just to always continue to upgrade the equipment
Mm-hmm.
and to to always offer more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that I always say that you can tell the difference between a business owner who owns a gym and a gym owner. And
yeah,
it's pretty obvious that you're a gym owner who's passionate about what he's doing. So
yeah.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
One of the things I always like to ask the gym owners is, you've had the gym for a year, you've done a lot with it in the year. Um, Being a newer gym owner, I'm sure that a lot of the mistakes that you made at the beginning, because let's face it, nobody does anything perfectly. Um, is there anything any piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's thinking about opening a gym, or is there something you wish you knew before you went down this road that you'd like to tell people, anyone who's thinking about opening a gym?
I would have to say the biggest piece of advice that I have is to do it with passion
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. It may seem really cool and it is really cool, but it's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of stress at times. But in the end, it's worth it, and t- and it is definitely a dream come true. Um, the and the biggest piece of advice on top of that I wish I'd known um, coming into it is it takes time. It takes time to do. It takes time to do the build out for a gym. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it takes time, and it takes time to grow. You know,
Yeah.
one thing that I have a hard time with is like I study like these other gyms and stuff, and like I try and like see what they're doing, and I oftentimes lose sight of my own like of my own progress that I've
Right.
made.
Yeah.
You know, and that is and that has definitely, you know, it's been tough to learn how to navigate that,
Mm-hmm.
but over time and you know from like reflecting and everything, you know, you, you have to learn to understand where you are at, and and as long as like you're moving upwards, then you're on the right track. But to not become to not become complacent, because there's always room to improve and become better.
Oh, completely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah. Those are really good pieces of advice. Um, I am super looking forward to seeing what's next. I didn't have any more questions. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell anyone about Just Perform?
I guess the biggest thing is if you're ever in the area to come by and check us out.
Yeah, it's definitely worth. It's definitely worth. If you're anywhere in the southwestern part of Virginia, like it's definitely worth the drive to come check this gym out. I was in Blacksburg. I drove an hour over to the gym, and it was definitely worth the hour drive to go over there and work out. I do
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on the podcast, and I appreciate your hospitality with getting me into the gym so early in the morning.
Not a problem
Yeah,
at all.
I was over there with a family affair, so I was
Yeah.
trying to get in my workout and get into your gym finally. And I appreciate you reaching out and
Yeah.
let me know that you're there. So because I hadn't heard of Rocky Mountain, so I'm glad I found it. I'm glad you found me, and we could connect. And this was cool. So I appreciate it. And let's definitely stay in touch. And thanks for coming on.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for having me on.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.